close to handle. Jimin and Jungkook's closeness triggers new tension in HYBE. The latest news from behind the walls of South Korea's biggest agency has once again rocked the army and the K-pop entertainment industry. This time, it's not about a comeback or an international concert, but about the closeness of the two BTS members. Jimin and Jungkook, who are said to have sparked new tensions within HYBE labels. The closeness, which has been warmly welcomed by fans, is starting to become a source of concern among management. What exactly happened? Some sources from inside the circle said that the closeness of Jimin and Jungkook, who has been seen so naturally and sincerely in public, it has evolved into more than just a sister-brother or groupmate relationship. There is a signal called too close to handle, too close to finally make some parties in the company feel they have lost control of the narrative. It all started with a secret project reportedly initiated by Jimin and Jungkook himself. The two were seen commuting back and forth to HYBE's private studio at night, separate from the official scheduled schedule. Even one recording technician anonymously mentioned that there was a different energy when the two were in the recording room. It's not just about the vocals or the music, it's about the chemistry that can't be ignored. Even in one of the training clips leaked to social media, there is a moment when Jimin leans his head against Jungkook's shoulder while closing his eyes. The moment lasted only 3 seconds, but it was enough to spark an uproar among fans. But what was most striking was not Jimin's attitude, it was Jungkook's look in return. A look that can no longer be classified as simply dear to Hyung. This small incident made the management start to worry about the emergence of uncontrollable speculation, especially when interactions like this are increasingly recorded on various occasions, both on stage and off-camera. There are rumors that some HYBE executives have even issued internal directives to keep the closeness of the two under control, for the sake of keeping the group's image balanced and not deviating from the official narrative. But as usual, Jimin and Jungkook didn't seem bothered by the pressure. They're getting closer and closer, even at formal events. In the last live interview, when asked about what makes them most comfortable right now, Jimin spontaneously replied, "Jungkook." While Jungkook just smiled and looked down, his cheeks flushed, before saying, "Because he's always there." The seemingly ordinary answer immediately sparked an explosion of comments on social media. The hashtag #TooCloseJikook topped the world's trending topic, followed by hashtag HYBE Panic, which went viral in a matter of hours. This leaves HYBE in an awry position. On the one hand, the closeness of Jimin and Jungkook is one of the main attractions of BTS that fans love. But on the other hand, management seems to be starting to find it difficult to control the direction of the public narrative, especially when these two artists are no longer fully following the flow of the prepared script. A former creative staff HYBE provide interesting information. In the past, their interaction was something that could be directed. But now, it can't be anymore. They follow their own feelings. And honestly, that's what makes them so real. HYBE's concerns were further heightened when a number of international fan bases began voicing support for Jimin and Jungkook to appear in the duo project. It even breaks away from the overly controlled narrative of the group. An online petition titled "Let Jikook Be" has been signed by more than 250,000 fans in 3 days. A figure that quite shook the industry. Not stopping there were also leaks that Jimin and Jungkook had made a request to go on a private trip abroad without accompanying agency staff, a very rare thing. This was interpreted as a form of request for freedom, and HYBE, who was known to be very strict in matters of securing artists, was mentioned in a vacillating position: give permission and lose control, or refuse and face the possibility of massive fan protests. Some ARMY said that HYBE should learn from their own history. The authenticity and genuine closeness between the members is the main reason why BTS is so loved, and trying to reset it can backfire. Meanwhile, the virtual world remains boisterous. Fans are starting to reassemble pieces of Jikook moments from the past, from the moment Jungkook first cried in Jimin's arms, to Jimin who could never hide his smile when Jungkook sang. All of that is now put together in a narrative that no one can stop, that perhaps only the two of them know how deep the relationship really is. As the wave of love and support from the ARMY continues to strengthen, The atmosphere inside HYBE's headquarters in Yongsan, Seoul, is even more tense. Reports suggest that management is reworking their communications strategy regarding Jimin and Jungkook, especially after a lot of foreign media spotlight that began to discuss the relationship between the two, not from the professional side, but from the personal side. In an exclusive report from a well-known entertainment journalist in Japan, it was stated that HYBE is no longer just managing artists, but must manage relationships that can shift the direction of popularity and global perception of the group. This sentence describes how Jimin and Jungkook's relationship is now considered a separate entity, not just part of BTS. Some industry analysts have also begun to highlight this phenomenon as a shift in narrative control from agency to artist. BTS, which has always been known as a group with more personal control than most other idols, is now facing a new turning point. The two members not only grew as individuals, but also as symbols of a real relationship in the eyes of the public, and difficult to manipulate. Among fans, the attitude of Jimin and Jungkook, who did not cover up their closeness, was actually considered a form of courage and honesty. They do not try to please all parties by being false, but rather show that closeness in a sincere form. Many fans said, "We don't need clarification. We see it every day." But the tension in HYBE's internal seems to be getting more visible when one of BTS's schedules is supposed to feature several members, including Jimin and Jungkook, abruptly canceled without explanation. Speculation has been rife, saying that the agenda was canceled because the agency wanted to separate the two in public in the near future, at least to lower the intensity of the spotlight. Unfortunately, the decision was reversed. Netizens and the army began to question HYBE's motives, even trending the topic #LetThemBe as a form of protest against the considered policy, restricting the freedom of two adults who have been known to be most true to themselves. The campaign was even featured in an opinion article for the Asian edition of Rolling Stone magazine. Yang highlighted the importance of providing space for K-pop artists to form personal identities without being confined by agency scenarios. On the other hand, both Jimin and Jungkook still showed a professional attitude. In a short documentary, Jungkook said while looking out the window, "Sometimes what we need most is not a new schedule, but someone who stays when everything is quiet." Fans were quick to associate the phrase with Jimin, who has been known to always be by Jungkook's side since his debut. Jimin also did not lose vocals. In one of the live broadcast sessions when answering fan questions, he had time to say, "If people start to think that relationships are dangerous, it's probably because they've never really felt it." The statement was perceived as a subtle allusion to the pressure they received from outsiders. Even many fans called it a veiled love message that is stronger than thousands of clarifications. Now, many people say that HYBE is in a precarious position. They can't ban, but they can't allow either. Jimin and Jungkook's closeness has become a symbol of resistance to the K-pop industry's overly controlling system, and the public is now witnessing it firsthand. Some fans called this a moment of emotional liberation in BTS's history. Even more interesting, there are rumors that the two are preparing a duet project that is very personal. The project is said to be released not in the usual commercial format, but in the form of a visual documentary that shows the most human side of their relationship, a work that will let the public see them without filters, without script, and without scenario. If these rumors are true, then it's not just BTS that will make new history, rather two individuals in it who choose to be true to themselves, in the middle of the world trying to write their story from the outside. And for the army, it's no longer a matter of are they more than friends? But it's about how two people can find a home in each other, even in a world full of boundaries. Jimin and Jungkook have stepped up to the point where their honesty speaks louder than the contract, deeper than song lyrics, and stronger than all the pressures of the industry.